World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Jana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be lethal to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She was magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.
Greetings and welcome to Access Wealth Nation for another night of getting your checkup from the neck up, learning about how money works. And of course, I'm Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse, and my passion and mission is to bring the information to our community. And of course, we do this through Soul City Network and through WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem. And it's my graciousness to be able to bring this weekly to you. I know I've been off and on here and there, but we have Women's History Month closing, and I couldn't let it go by without making some statements. We're right now on a mission with the Wealth Wave family is to bring forth a million women to become financially literate. Now, it's not saying that we are that we're illiterate. We're just financially. Most of the people don't understand the basics of how money works. So I'm going to do some talking today, but I did want to bring up that we're launching on March the 31st at 1 p.m. during the day. It's kicking off for Financial Literacy Month, which starts really April the 1st. And it's launching the first financial literacy quiz. And I'm asking all of you to be a part of this, of finding out how much do you really know about money. And it's like 25 questions, and you answer them to the best of your ability. This will help us to see how things are, how things work for you and how things are going for you and how much do you really know. So that being said, I'm just getting ready to start and do a little presentation for you, a little information. You know, I believe that truly we would say is knowledge is power. Well, if you get the book, How Money Works for Women, Take Control or Lose It, you will see that this is a time that you need to learn about how money works. Everybody, but more so women. Things have changed, and therefore it is time for us to move forward and work with our money. So that being said, we also have, oh goodness, well, you'll see the front of the book in a minute, but it's How Money Works for Women, Take Control or Lose It. And in there are just wonderful ideas and information about what we as women need to know. Now, again, let me emphasize, money's green. but it's not always on an even platform. And so that's why we need to, at this time, learn more and be focused. So, not to waste any time, want to be able to get as much as I can out to you tonight. And I'm loving the fact that y'all are responding and asking questions. If you have some questions for me, it's okay. I'll stop and answer. But also, we're setting up for Financial Literacy Month in April, a special hotline that you can start asking your questions. And we'll be putting that up next week to see if you have special questions that you'd like to be answered. We can answer them on the air, or we can answer your emails. Again, if you want the book, How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker, How Money Works for Women, or if you really want something that's interesting, there is the ebooks that we have, so you can download them at any point. And if you go to Jana B at wealthwave.com, you can order the books and even the ebooks. And there's a new ebook. So I'm calling on all young people between the ages of 18 and 30. Yeah, there's a whole new generation there. That's what it's called. How Money Works, Next Generation. And so at this point, this is a time that we have to make a difference or wind up paying for the difference. So that book has come out in an e-book form because we knew it was for young folks. But I'll tell you, it's for anybody to read because it's got some real great tidbits in there to teach you about how money works. I know it sounds like a broken record, but we haven't had the graciousness of having anyone teach us. Many would love to have been taught how money works and the basics of finance in schools, but there's about 27 states that make it mandatory for schools to teach financial literacy, but it's what they're teaching. I saw one course and it was teaching you how to write a check. We don't write checks, very rarely. And so, the basics of compound interest, these are all things that we need to know before we branch out into the world. But no one's teaching it. So we are. As a matter of fact, got my little pen. It's called a Certified Financial Educator. It is certified by the Heartland Institute to say I can get out here and teach. So if you guys have schools, organizations, events that you would like to have a financial educator to speak and bring forth wisdom, give us a call at 646-375-2121. Be glad to, at that point, be able to link up and help. But also, again, you need sometimes just to have a plan. We have in the books, it talks about a discovery call, a discovery map, what's it called? A map, roadmap. And by doing so, you should definitely, without a doubt, be eligible to have that map. And we do it free. We just help you walk through the path of financial literacy. So these are some of the things that are important. If you're interested, just call 646-375-2121, and we'll be glad to serve you. Also, it's tax season. So I love you because I'm doing a show during tax season. And this is a time, last week we talked about all the things, especially scams that are taking place. Please beware. It's so important. Things are getting messy out here. So be careful. Be careful with where your social security number goes. Be careful what you sign up for, these apps and things. Just be careful. You don't have to say yes to everything. But I will say one thing you need to say yes to is getting your paperwork into your accountants, your financial planners, whoever's doing your taxes. IRS has a free program right now, And you can just log up there if you make under $250,000. It's not about having to have someone do your taxes. You can do them yourself. But again, you want to make sure that you get all the benefits and all the tax laws. So that's why sometimes you have to pay either a tax preparer, an EA, and a CPA, somebody to help you, especially if you have businesses. Don't mess up. Also, I know I made mention last week, there was the BOI. Here they go again. They're not sure. FinCEN got another thing up on their website, and it says that you don't, if you have a business and you're a U.S. citizen, you don't have to fill out the BOI. That's what they say now. I say go to FinCEN, FINCEN.org, and sign up for alerts because they keep changing continuously. Also, they said that if you do and you're a U.S. citizen, they will not be charging you any fines. Back in the last year, it was that there was a fine for $500 a day. That's knocking a lot of people out of business, but that's not happening. Okay, just thought I'd put you on alert. So let's talk about how money works for women and take control or lose it. And so as we look, think about it this way. Where did you really learn about money? You know, it's not taught in schools, as I said. And many of your parents might not have known anything about money either. So they couldn't help you. So where did you learn, about money? We've heard things said many a times, money doesn't grow on trees, pinch your pennies, save for a rainy day, or those infamous words that parents lay on a limited idea in a child's mind. We can't afford it. Not a bit of truth in it. Hearing those negative things, though, have caused us to react differently to money. And when it comes down to finance, many of us have a tendency to run away, don't want to deal with it. The financial news, we click. And that's sad because we live in a capitalistic society and you need to know how money works. And for women in particular, we need to basically break this cycle because they say if you educate a woman, you educate a village. And so it's time for us to get rid of the craziness, the bad thinking, the negative thoughts, and open our hearts up and to reach out and learn. The best place to learn is taking your time with a financial educator. Because they're not trying to sell you something, they're trying to educate. Because if you know better, you do better, And so, news alert: by 2030, women are expected to control over 30 trillion, that's with a T, of the financial assets in the United States, which is about 2/3 of the entire wealth of the nation. Now, this could be good and this could be not so good. If we don't have proper education, we could have a lot of folks with red bottom shoes, or we can have a lot of women owning real estate. It can go one way or another. Women, we earn the majority of the college and graduate degrees out here. We've come a long way. And we make up nearly half of the workforce. We hold more than half of the management and professional careers. We've moved up, but there's a little bit of a problem. It's a big problem. Women earn just 82 cents for every $1 that's earned by a man. And we have some other situations. We have to take time away. You have children, take care of your parents, take care of your partners. Did you know that most men think that their long-term care provider is their wife? their life partner. But who's taking care of the life partner? It's interesting that 80% of the men in this world, in this country, will die with a partner. 80% of the women in this world, in this country, will die without a partner. So we've got some things that we need to pay attention to get our act together, and we can. So the caregiving responsibilities, we know, I say it's the one that's going to take care of the children, the one that's going to take care of the household, the one that's going to take care of their parents as they get old. The key here is that in it, the sad word is 2/3 of low-paying jobs are basically held by women. And that's because they have these times out. And as you time out, you don't get the same positions, makes it different. When we go for the job, we are basically in the entry level. There's about 48% of the entry level in this country in business and workers are women. But the executives, it's only 26% are women. So it's the glass ceiling. I say, as women, we should be looking at opening our businesses and getting properly certified. So the median annual earnings in America today for men is $61,180, whereas for women, it's $51,226. That's almost a $10,000 difference. And you can do a lot with $10,000. And women will lose more than $400,000 over a 40-year career. That makes it very difficult for us, even in Social Security. Next slide. Didn't see that coming, but it's okay. Retired women receive 80% of what retired men receive in Social Security. There's a little caveat there, though. If you sit with a financial advisor or a financial educator, you may learn how to really work your Social Security, because even if you divorce, you may be eligible for your ex-husband's Social Security as a spouse without taking yours. That's going to be another class we're going to give. We're going to start doing classes on Wednesdays for understanding how money works and giving the basic fun facts and things that you can do right away. So how we handle this. If you want to take control of your money, first you got to talk about money. For some reason, it's one of those taboos that no one wants to talk about money. You don't tell anybody what you earn. No, you need to learn how money works. So you need to start having conversations about money, talking about it at the nail salon, talk about it when you get with your girlfriends. Think about what keeps you up at night. Do you feel like you never are going to get ahead? Are you worried about outliving your money? 66% of Americans do. They worry about, will they outlive their money? Who will take care of you if you get sick? It'll be surprising. You think that it may be your children. Sometimes it's not. A lot of times it's not. And how do you create generational wealth? These are some of the things that we should be thinking about and talking about. How do I leave? Even do I have everything in place to leave for the next generation? And that's what we should be thinking about also. When women speak about these matters, it'll make a difference. So that's what we're out here doing now. And especially for myself, I'm doing it so that people are financially literate. We can do it. You got to know what your situation is. Okay, what does that mean? You got to look at your pay stub. We're in tax season. Everybody's looking for a refund. Refunds, as you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. That's not a good thing. You get a refund. What does that mean? It means that you have let the government hold your money for 12 months and give it back to you with no interest. Who does that? And why? Why is because we don't know any better. We need to look at our pay stubs. I know they've made the world of W-4s, how to tell them how to take tax out. They've made it so difficult and confusing, but you can overcome that. The other thing is your bank statements. You need to know where your best interest is. And if you're using debit cards, how you wind up putting money back, your emergency fund. What coverage do you have? Insurance. Now, there's another site that I have, and it says shop your term. I am not a big person on term insurance, but we have mostly in our community term insurance. Well, you want to know if you are paying too much or is there a better deal out there? If you go to shopyourterm.com/Jana B. Yeah, you're going to connect to me. That's Jana with a J, Janab. Then you can put in what insurances you have and then see if you're getting a good deal. If it is, it's going to be, the site will tell you. So take those trips to do that, and then retirement and your investment accounts. I know all of y'all are panicking over this market. This is a time to really sit with a financial advisor and think about what can you do? What should you be doing? Are you getting ready to retire right now? Or do you have a few years? These are the important things to find out about. And again, looking at your loans and your credit cards, so important. We don't understand the rule of 72 can work for us or against us. The rule of 72 says take the interest rate that you make on your savings account, divide it into 72, and it tells you how often your money's going to double. Well, if you're getting 1% on your savings account right now, 72 years from now, it'll double. That's not going to be enough. So you need to really re-examine and look and see what you're doing. But if you have credit cards that are doing 20%, do you know like almost every 3 months that balance is doubling on you? Why? Because the interest rate is so high. But that's another show. We've done that before. So you can start to find more money by eliminating the unnecessary, the things that just one of the biggest things I think about is the streaming services, the late fees and overdraft charges, your credit card debt, the credit report errors. Everybody gets a free financial credit report. It's called annualcreditreport.com. No, it doesn't have free in front of it. That's the ones that start charging you. It's annualcreditreport.com. And then check out your bad habits, your bad financial habits, and see, I'm dealing with people now and walking them through. Sometimes we just have all of these subscriptions on our phone and we're not even using them. We need to get rid of stuff, downsize, make it smaller, and keep that money, keep records of that money that you're saving. It will help you in the long run. And this, I'm talking to men and women, but today we're doing financial literacy for women. Okay, so you need to set your goals. That's one of the other things that you need to do. Well, how do you set these goals? Well, where do you see yourself in 0 to 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 to 15 years? And then 15 plus is your long term. But if the older you are, the shorter that long term becomes. So you need to do something right away. Make a plan. That's very important. Nearly 75% of women do not have a plan to reach their financial goals. That's including retirement. The differences between things that are taxable, tax deferred, or tax free. Those things exist, but you got to plan with them. So unfortunately, we don't do that. We plan for parties, we plan for births, we plan. We don't plan for these things. So 80%, as I said, of women will die single, while 80% of the men will die married. That's a lot to say. So you've got to prepare yourself. There's inside the book, How Many Works for Women, is about a woman who, there's a chapter, and her name's Fatima. We all got names in this book. And Fatima was a good housewife and a wife, took care of her kids. She didn't take any interest in the finances. Husband dies. What do I do? Where are the bills paid? How are they paid? They said that within 3 years, a widow will probably end up destitute if they don't have a plan. More than 70% of nursing home residents and almost 2/3 of Alzheimer's patients happen to be women. We got to prepare. If this is not disturbing you, I don't know what will. So next is save and invest more money. With your goals and your plans and your financial roadmap, then do I need to save more, or can I live off of what I have? Because I'm going to live long. Okay, women report that in fact, men and women both report that their number one financial regret is not saving enough money, not investing, not doing. That's once we've gotten to that point, and sometimes that's just too late. Need to get busy now, just to look at this chart. And I know those on the radio show, you can't see it, but it's basically saving $1 a day or $5 a day or $10. If you save $1 for every day, a total of 30 days in a month, you wind up with about $365 for the year. Some people say, well, that's not a lot. Yeah, well, it's better than what you had before. If you save $5 for every day, that's $150 for the month. And at the end of the year, you'll have about $1,825. If you get really rambunctious, $10 a day, that means maybe you should take your lunch or don't buy that latte. And by doing so, you've saved $300 in the month, and you would have a total of $3,650 for the year. It's the little baby steps in this world that you got to take to make it to the big, wonderful life of retirement or relaxing, outside of having the lotto dream. Okay. Learn how money works. And this is just our last step on the seventh here is that to take control of your money, you should learn how money works. Get the book. If you want the book, you have to send us an email at anagenterprisesinc@gmail.com and say, I'd like to get the book. If you'd like the ebook, because some people don't want to be bothered with turning pages, and I will send you the link to one of our ebooks so that you can learn. The key is it's free. It's on Amazon, but it's free if you ask for it. But the fee that you have to pay is read the book and let me know what impacted you. That's all that I ask. Okay. So how much does financial literacy really cost us and our families? It's really sincerely already checked. In 2022, Financial illiteracy cost an average American $1,819 for the year. So how much is it to your family? What's costing you, by not having a plan when you plan to fail? Okay, hi there. Who's this? Oh, Aline. How are you? We need to talk, girl. Uh, I know I'm stopping the show, but she's an important person. I'm going to link back to you. Okay, and so the keys are to really do some planning. This is my favorite slide always, is the 7 money milestones. We happen to be working for a company or through a company that is called the How Money Works company, the 7 money milestones. And these are the simple things that we need to pay attention to. We need to make sure we get a financial education, that we get proper protection, that we have an emergency fund, that we got good debt and bad debt. We want good debt, no bad debt. Cash flow, setting up our own businesses, setting up budgets, building wealth, focusing in on making some of the sacrifices. When I sit with folks and they say I tell them, I need your dreams, your goals. And they'll say, ooh, I want to be financially free. And I tell them, yeah, okay, what does that mean? What does it look like? Why? Because what I think financial freedom is and is not the same as what you might think. That's why it's always important to talk to a financial educator and work with someone who is willing to take you through a strategy. Okay. And then after building wealth, you got to protect that wealth. You got to have wills and trust and so many little things put in place so that you don't end up losing your money or your family starts to lose your money because you have not put things in proper place. It's interesting that when people pass, more people show up at that funeral than when you were just coming into this world. And they're not helping any. If there's no roadmap, it's not going to help, because everybody said, well, they said I could have the car, or they said I could have the jewelry, yet with nothing in writing. Or you'd be like what our dear sister Aretha Franklin, even though they seem to have straightened it out, but she had an $80 million estate. And by the time she got it straightened out, it's about 40 million. And the thing is that COVID didn't help much because it delayed and delayed. So there's a lot of lawyers and courts got money behind that. It could have been a lot easier if she had stuff in writing. And they said there was like 4 wills out there. Well, make it clear of what you want, or set up a trust or something, but definitely take care before situations happen. So here we are. Let me see if I have my characters. These are all the characters in the book. We got Zoe and Sarah and me and Maria, Hope. All of them have different phases of life. There's Fatima, Val. Val has to deal with a special needs child. There's Dina and Jan. All of them have a story. And also, if it's in a predicament that, like for Hope, she's 62, but her husband walks in and says, I want a divorce. What do you do at that point? These are some of the things that are addressed in this How Money Works for Women's book. And I definitely have a special gift for anybody who finds where there's something that I say in the book. So your next step, for all intents purposes, and especially if you have some women in your life, or you are the woman that needs to get this book, is to read the book. And then after you read the book, talk about money with your family and friends. Know your own financial situation by taking inventory of your cash flow, your assets, your insurance, your debt, and then eliminate any unnecessary fees and charges and credit cards, debts, and bad financial habits. You can do it. And the thing is to do it, get started now. Be proactive. Set your financial goals, short term, medium, long term. Make plans to accomplish your financial goals and stick to your savings plan. I know sometimes, it's the way we treat a diet. Okay, after the first week, we done. But we need to stay on this and set up that word budget and save and save and save and make sure that they all your money that you put away have certain goals to them. Because if they have a goal, you'll stick to it. If it has no goal, you have no relationship with your money, you will spend it. That's how it goes. And continue to learn about money, how money works, and partner with a financial professional, and share your knowledge. We love to be secret agents. We don't want to tell people what we're doing and why we're doing it. We don't want to, because we think people going to take stuff from us. Don't have that limiting thought. Get out there and learn, then do, and then reap the benefits behind it. What lifestyle do you really want to create for yourself and your family? What do you see? Because if you can envision it, you can achieve it. And then what are you willing to do to get to that level? That's the kind of stuff that's important. So this is the book. And if you'd like the book, you can reach out to us, to my Anaj Enterprises Inc. at gmail.com and let me know you want the book. The other thing is that we have plenty of workshops. And if you'd like to be put on our list so that you can get a chance to participate in some of our rotating workshops, we have a series of 5 workshops that we just tell people things about their short-term investing, their long-term investing, what insurance. And so if you miss one, they start to revolve. So if you'd like to be put on that list, just send us an email at anagenterprisesinc@gmail.com, and we'll be glad to put you on the list and get you some information ASAP. Because the words are what we say is, if you change your literacy, you can change your life. And so that I just wanted to share with you. And I wanted to pay tribute to some of the wonderful women who have made changes within our world and our life. And we don't know many about it. There are so many who have been in the finance world, we got Miss Walker, not Madam C.J. Walker, Marie Walker, who owned was the first chartered bank, Black woman. We have, of course, Madam C.J. Walker. Everybody knows about her, and being the first millionaire in this country, one of the first millionaires in this country. There are women who have worked on the stock exchange. Miriam Seabrook, who started to spearhead where they said that you couldn't. As you see, my opening is, they said that I couldn't. They said that I needed to be just a good girl sitting on the side. But when women get involved in anything, we have a tendency to excel. And since we do excel, we need to take it to another level and teach and share and then do. Because this 30 trillion, if it is really going to come in 2030, we better get ready, because if not, we're going to take control or we're going to lose it, and we can't afford to lose it. I've seen so many writings on the wall that says that it's going to be a rough road. Well, it's only going to be a rough road if you're not prepared. And so you can't say we weren't told, because I'm telling you that you need to get on board. And especially during these economic times, stop working with the sleight of hands where Our administration is showing us all sorts of stuff. Stay steadfast and open up to having your own financial plan, and then work it with your financial advisor. And that includes the tax season. Get your stuff in order and get it taken care of. You can make things a lot easier for yourself if you just take a little time and focus. So my edition here today is a little shorter than normal. Of course, it's tax season and I got to get kicking. If you'd like some of the information that I was talking about, the 1 million women being financial literate, all of that, you can definitely just send me an email at anajenterprisesinc@gmail.com, and I will forward you the information. It's a lot going on. Now, Monday is going to be the start of a series of financial literacy quizzes. And I would love for all of you to participate in the quizzes. It's a way to find out where you are. Sometimes we think we know less than what we really do know. We know a lot, so the best thing is to check and see. This would help you to move forward in your planning. So starting on Monday, March the 31st, is the first set of quizzes that are out there. And don't get apprehensive about it. See where you're at. You can't correct something if you don't know where you are at. So send me an email. I'll send you the link and you can start taking that quiz. If you take the quiz, then 6 months later, after you've been through financial literacy workshops, take it again and see what you know. That's the kind of thing that we're leaving open to you. And of course, the other thing is, if you happen to have term insurance and you want to shop your term, go to shopyourterm.com/Jana B, and we'll be glad to let you see the mechanics behind it. And you can test and you can play with it yourself. That's what it's about. Checking things and doing things for yourself. Yes, a financial educator or a financial planner can help you, but tomorrow's not promised. So therefore, you want to make sure that you understand how things work so you can do it, so that if they're not around, you can do it yourself. So it's been a pleasure talking to you all tonight. I hope you all get your finances all straightened out, especially doing your taxes. Sit with your accountant or whoever you're working with, even if you go to what I call the factories. And you'll know what I mean by that, where you just plug them in, plug them out. It's okay. The key is that you do something and keep your affairs in order and be in compliance when it comes down to your taxes. That means that you're on time with your taxes. Okay, so it's great. I'm Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse for Access Wealth Nation on the Soul City Network and also on WHCR 90.3 FM. You all have a good night. Be well and keep a positive mental attitude.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be legal to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She was magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is magic.